Welcome back to Purpose and Power Podcast, where your strategy meets vision and your vision creates impact. I'm so excited to be back with you guys again today. My name is Renele Brooks. I am your host for Purpose and Power Podcast, and we talk about strategy, faith, purpose. We talk about moving in efficiency and integrity when it comes to business. So this season, we're talking about workflows, automations, internal and external systems, and log frames, and all the things that move the needle forward in terms of business. I know I talked about workflows and automations in our last episode, but I wanted to kind of dial back into streamlining and automations again, just to give you a little bit more information. So streamlining helps your business grow because it makes your business efficient and productive. You ever feel like your days are full of little repetitive tasks? Over and over again, you're doing the same thing. If you feel like that, then it's time to streamline. It's time to begin to automate, because you can automate the mundane things and get your hours back, your sanity back, get your time back. I have had days when I have been working and I have been sitting in a chair for hours, not even having gotten up to eat, and I look and it is 8 o'clock at night. And so those things are not really good for our mental health. So we want to make sure that we can streamline and move efficiently and smoothly so that we can get back some of that time that we're spending doing the things that are necessary, moving the needle, making things work, but at the expense of what? So I felt like we needed to just come back in here and hit streamlining automations again and talk about how we can clean up our tools. So one of the things is you don't need 5 different calendars. You don't need 3 different client retention management systems to be able to make things work. Let's think more strategically, okay? So you want to clarify your steps. And that means if it takes you 12 different tasks or 12 different action steps, and we talked about objectives in our last season, those are the tasks that get you to the goal. So if it takes you 12 actions to do something that could take you 3, it's time to clean up your procedures. It's time to clean up your house. Look within your task and see what you can streamline. So start by doing that. Start by clarifying your steps. The next thing you can do is automate. And we went through automation a lot in the last episode. Setting up the automation helps you relieve some of that time. Okay, and you can use tools like Zapier and Acuity. Acuity is scheduling, and we went over Dubsado last time. Those are the things that help you to automate. So you can automate your scheduling, so you can have people just go and schedule their own appointments. You don't have to go in and say, oh, what time are you available? Okay, let's make sure we get this time. Oh, I'm not available this time yet. No, that's a waste of time. You can schedule, you can automate your contracts like I talked about before. You can send contracts and invoicing and reminders. What if you're taking payments? You're allowing clients to make payments. You want to make sure 2 or 3 days before the payment is due that they have a reminder. Don't forget, you have a payment coming up in 3 days. You can send out email sequences. If you guys are on my email subscriber list, you know that I send emails. And during the time that we were promoting the playbook, I sent out emails twice a week. And so the emails help you out because you don't have to sit there and try to communicate with everybody. You can set up the emails and you can set them out as far out as you want and send them automatically for different dates. And that's a time saver as well. We're talking about streamlining, guys. We're talking about taking back your mental health, taking back your time, taking back your peace. And that's why I felt like we need to go through this a little bit deeper so that the so that we can see where you can buy back some of that time. Your time is too valuable to be spent in manually confirming Zoom calls. Guys, if you're trying to say, okay, we got the Zoom at such and such a time, and make sure you get on, guys, no. Set up the time. And I can understand if you're just getting started, you're just doing something, you're trying to make sure, but you can set that automatically and build in automation once and let it serve you daily. Okay. So some best practices are in your internal is to manage your communications. Guys, one of the things, and I'll talk about it a little bit later, that can save you is just by communicating clearly with those that are working with you. Like I said before, if you have clarity and if you are walking in clarity, then everybody else should have clarity because they're following you. Project management helps you. That's a best practice. HR is a best practice. On the external side, your client retention management, your donor client communications, and your social. All of those things are best practices and they help you to streamline everything that you're doing. So one of the things that you can do is use a knowledge hub. And this is generally for bigger companies. A lot of times, I mean, for the most part, but anybody can use it. But when you have a bigger company, you have more employees to manage, you have more managers, you have more volunteers, you have more moving parts. So this really comes in handy then. But also if you have a smaller company and you want to put this in place, it really will help you. And if you have not heard of Knowledge Hub, I hadn't when I first came across it, and I had to do a little research and see what exactly is the Knowledge Hub? So a Knowledge Hub, it supports your staff and your volunteers. And it's a central point of information that key staff and volunteers can access when they need assistance. And this takes the pressure off of you. It takes the pressure off the managers. It takes the pressure off of HR. And it gives them the freedom to access knowledge by themselves. And so when you think about that, it's a central hub that you have within your organization, within your business, that people can access educational materials, they can access resources, they can look and get questions answered by SOPs, standard operating procedures that are digital, right in that central location. You know, if you have to get your badges done, if you have to take employee testing, if you have to be certified in something, you can go through that course. All of those things can be put in the Knowledge Hub. And that alleviates people from having to do that work, which saves time. So those people, like your HR team, can be doing other tasks. So we do this on a smaller scale with project management, and we keep all of our artifacts, that's all of our files, all our Scrum materials in a certain location, and we give access on a need-to-know basis depending on what your role is. So roles and responsibilities are really important, guys. So setting recurring internal syncs and communication rhythms. This is really important. Setting internal communications, let's say, and in project management, this is key. You may meet daily in project management because especially when you're doing Agile and Scrum, so your Scrum team may meet every single day. Well, your Scrum team meets every single day because they do short sprints, and you go through and you may have a 5 to 7 day turnaround for the next project or the next task within a larger project. So communication is absolutely crucial. So teams, especially in project management, you're building off of, depending if you're doing a waterfall or agile, but in the waterfall, you're waiting for that person, that role and responsibility that is ahead of you to finish their task before you can complete your task. So then communication becomes very, very crucial, especially when you have a sprint time of 5 days. And so even in just a regular day to day, the communications and your internal syncs are very important for you guys to come together as a team and say, hey, this is where we're at. This is where we're going. This is what we need. Do you have any ideas? And when you come together, innovation takes place as well. And that's why it's more important, really important that you have a good culture in your organization or your business, because the culture will drive innovation. It will drive success. It will drive, a good team environment. It will drive employee retention. And so we talked about that last time. Of course, I can't stop talking about it because I love a good culture and it helps everything. And so those things that I talked about are best practices, and they help you move the needle forward in terms of being streamlined, in terms of being efficient and being productive with your business. So again, guys, I'm going to give you tools as usual. And I mentioned Slack before, but Slack is good for internal messaging and project channeling. And that's good for both your nonprofit and your businesses. And of course, you guys probably are familiar with Google Workspace. And Google Workspace shares documents, storage, emails back and forth, which is good for both the nonprofit and the small business arenas. So Trainual has scalable onboarding and internal documentation. And that's very important. Like I told you, that we keep all of our artifacts in a particular location that can be accessible in project management. That's internal documentation that different people working on different levels all across the company and even externally can access if need be. So is a good system for that, and you can use that both in nonprofit and in small business. So guys, is your business solid internally? That's what the streamlining is all about. That's what automation is all about. The workflows help internally and externally, and the automations help you get things done. Just take a moment to really sit down with your business and be honest with yourself. Is it a solid internal streamlined workflow that we have going on here in our business? Or is it just good at appearances? Some things look good on the outside, but they're not generally ready to be efficient on the inside. You can go ahead and do a lot of different things in your business on the external portion, and then you neglect the internal portion, and everything is running rampant. So you want to make sure that you do have both external and internal systems working at optimal levels. So if you need clarity, guys, on what is internal, what is external, because sometimes they can overlap and it could seem like, oh, this is external, but it's really internal, helping an external process. And if you need clarity on that and how to fix it, reach out to Purpose Inc., guys. We are here for your assistance. So you're welcome to reach out at purposeinc.life and schedule a discovery session, and we can go from there to see if we're a good fit. Again, this has been Purpose and Power, guys. I am Renele Brooks, your host, and we're going to make some impacts this season, guys. We're on season 2, and we're rolling ahead, guys. We're on episode 5 already. Can you believe it? And I am so excited because we are moving the needle forward and helping you get what you need for your business. So contact me if you need some help. Otherwise, guys, keep pushing forward, keep moving forward. Do not stop. It is a time to build, and I'm here to help you do it. Take care. See you next time.